Hello, hello. It'll take a moment to get set up, and I have to like mute myself on the screen in front of me. It's delayed there. So today I am just doing another little quick live stream. Today celebrating Bjorn Anders Nielsen. He was my first love, my first like full-on boyfriend, my first love. The first man that I made love with. So he's just, yeah, a very special person to me. He died when he was 26 and I was 25. So he would be, I'm turning 41 this November. Would be turning 42 today if he were alive. I've been gone for many years. This is one of my favorite photos because it's one of those like tiny Polaroid. I mean, I don't know if they probably don't, I'm sure they don't make these exact strips anymore, but anyway, these little Polaroid strips. And so I remember taking this photo of him and just knowing that there's this, it's not a digital copy, it's just this one copy here. I need to be able to see the screen. See how you can see it best. Yeah, that's him, that cheesy little smile. He's Swedish, and Bjorn means bear in Swedish. And sort of reddish hair there. After chemotherapy and such, his hair color changed a bit, but this was his natural, true color, a redhead. And he loved whiskey, and it's been tradition that I will drink whiskey on his birthday in honor of him, in remembering him, celebrating him. I feel like just looking at this, the feathers being weird in there. Anyway, getting distracted. I find that I don't love celebrating his death day as much, although I do think of him and honor him that day as well. That his birthday feels like a beautiful time to celebrate him. Oh, there's a bug in my whiskey. I'm gonna get that bug out before I drink it up. So yes, I poured myself some whiskey. This is actually from my favorite uncle, Bruce, who I got to see on my travels back to Mississippi. So I wanted to drink a little and then share a piece of writing that he had shared with me. And I remember him like texting me in the middle of the night after this whole thing unfolded, or in the midst of it. I don't really remember, but whiskey to Bjorn. Never easy to drink straight whiskey, eh? I'll finish that a little later. So you probably don't know Bjorn, but he was also a writer, and he also like wrote this collection of stories. I wish that I had them all. He had them on his computer, and he left the computer with his mother. And I don't know if she ever did anything. I know he was working, he had like a compilation that was a book, and he was just finishing writing the foreword and the ending. And I know he wanted to share it with people. So anyway, I'm going to share this one with you today. This is by Bjorn Anders Nielsen. He says, they always go back to the scene of the crime, or that's what I hear they do, at least. Criminals do that, don't they? They do on television and in books. Those are just reflections of reality, so it must be true. I may not trust women, doctors, lotto odds, and day-old donuts from a gas station, but TV hasn't ever let me down. TV brought me Mr. Rock. Enough said. It must be true that they always go back to the scene of the crime. I did. It was bloody. Not enough to stop me by any means. So the bed has stains on it, blood stains, but really, it is a little splashing of blood here and there. Nothing much to me, but then again, I wasn't thinking straight yet. I was still drugged up, pretty good to be honest. Pretty good to be honest. Blood or no blood, I was tired. Time to go back to sleep. If I put some dirty clothes out of the hamper over the blood, then I'm not really sleeping in it, right? I had no desire to do my laundry or change sheets at that moment. Whew. My elbow was where the stains came from. I hadn't killed anyone, or at least none of the evidence really suggested it. I didn't know why my elbow was bleeding, but so I guess anything was possible. From what I figure, a few painkillers and a sleeping pill can be the recipe for self-surgery. Earlier in the day, one of my doctors noticed a wart on my left elbow. No need to get it removed. It will just grow back anyway, with me being immunosuppressed already. My subconscious didn't agree with the doctor. That isn't so unusual in itself. I really am happy with what the doctors have to tell me. You have cancer. You have a hole in your lung. Your liver functions don't look so good. Man, you are ugly. That shirt doesn't suit you. Do you always smell like that? I think that my doctors are a little judgmental. As for the self-surgery, somewhere around 3 in the morning, I went to work with whatever fingernails I have. To the best of my blacked out knowledge, proceeded to dig, scrape, auger, rip, and other such destruction to the horrible wart on my elbow. Besides the old women you see with the bat wings flailing about when you reach for the gravy boat across the dinner table, most people aren't thick-skinned on the bow. I am no exception to this rule, but I'm hoping that maybe someday I will get my bat wings. Fingers crossed. Maybe if I had been eating more gravy, my elbow wouldn't have pit mine in it. Wouldn't have a pit mine in it. Sorry. With thin skin and a drug-induced badger of a right hand digging away at myself, it was bound to turn into a bloody mess. Thank God I was passed out, or I might have passed out. Let's not forget that I am taking blood thinners at the moment. That just adds to the fun. At some point, I must have been satisfied with my work because when I woke up, it was because my arm felt all sticky and gooey. Not knowing what my right hand had been up to, I was a touch confused. Assessing the situation quickly, I realized that I was bleeding and bleeding quite a bit. Also, I not only have an obsessive compulsive desire to pick warts, I tend to toss and turn on the bed a bit, as shown by the splotches of blood being scattered on the left side, the right side, pillows, the blankets. If it were a baseball game, I would have hit for the cycle with my blood. Really spread it all over. I think this is a sign of a good wart picker. Sticky and gooey is no good. I could even recognize that. Off to the bathroom. I could even recognize that. Off to the bathroom I went to clean up. Proud of myself for only stubbing my toe once and hitting up against the wall twice. I made it to the sink and began to wash up. I was able to wash it off, but the hole was determined to spout more. I needed a little Dutch boy to plug the hole, but the best I found was toilet paper. Nowhere near good enough for this elbow. It was time to call in the big guns. Off to the kitchen. Several swings for the light switch and random drug-induced mumbling about soft tissue toilet paper, and another stub toe later, I had found what I needed, a roll of paper towels. Oh, the relief. The procedure was pretty simple. Wrap about half a roll of paper towels around the elbow, so my left arm looked similar to a Popeye. Granted, Popeye didn't usually have a red spot emerging from it, but everyone can be as cool as me, I guess. Properly medically attended to, there was nothing for me to do than nothing more for me to do than to more or less drop on the couch and fall asleep all over again. I was tired. Dressing surgical wounds takes a lot out of you. Waking up an hour later on the couch, not remembering why in the world once again, what was happening can only add to the fun. The couch not being in any sense what normal people would call comfortable inspired me to go back to the bed. On the way, noticing little drops of blood on the ground. Sadly, I didn't really think much of it. That is, I didn't think much of it until I got to the bed and saw that I had most likely killed someone. Hope it wasn't someone I liked too much. Plus, I wondered, what did I do with the body? Fairly quickly, I realized that my arm was a bit sticky and gooey and twice his normal size, being all wrapped up in the brawny man's super absorbency goodness. Good. Nobody dead, just me bleeding. Still, no realization of why I was bleeding. In fact, I didn't really care too much. I was tired. Tired but civilized. I can't sleep in bloody sheets, even if it is mine. Paper towels are fine to sleep in, but not red-stained sheets. Drop cloths are the answer to my quandary, so I lay down some dirty clothes over the offensive spots. For some reason, this was the right option to choose, not the obvious choice of sleeping in the next bed, clean, with fresh sheets and blankets. I am just glad that I don't have genital warts, or I could have lost a lot more than just some blood and elbow. Not to mention having genital warts would mean having genital warts, and that's worse than waking up in some blood. So yes, that was just a little story that he shared with me via email that I knew was going to be a part of his book, and I just thought it'd feel good to me to share some of his words today on his birthday. So, remembering you, Bjorn. We had shirts that said first save the Bjorn and then remember the Bjorn. So I have one of those too. Remembering you now, my beloved, my love. I feel you with me often. I see you. I feel the signs. I feel your love and support. I hope you all enjoy this little remembering of Bjorn and remember that, remembering our loved ones that have passed on doesn't have to look a specific way. It can be unique to them, unique to you. The way we remember and celebrate is as unique as these beautiful beings that we have loved and continue to love as they are no longer earthside in these meat suits like we are right now. Sending you all so much love. Until next time.